So, I guess these are back. But why? Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on the Nike KD4 Retro in the Galaxy colorway. Now this shoe is part of a pack for All-Star Weekend back in 2012 in Orlando, Florida. The whole theme obviously was like Galaxy themed, so you not only had these, but you had the LeBron 9 Big Bangs, which recently retroed, and then they also featured the Nike Kobe 7, a shoe that desperately needs a Protro. Like that shoe, the original, was awful. It needs to be revamped. I can help you do it if you just cut me a check. I'd probably do it for free. Wow. Not only that, there was a ton of lifestyle or retro offerings as well. The Nike Foamposite 1 in the Galaxy colorway was one of them. That might have been the hottest release of the bunch. It had the most craze towards it, which is insane. Like you had to have been there to, not even to witness it, but just to see it from afar. I sure didn't go to Orlando, and I was like over here in California being like, damn, y'all are crazy. But yeah, one of my favorite releases though was actually an Old Penny release. Technically not a signature, but it had his number on the shoe, so we'll slide it in as one of the models that is just attached to him. But it was the Flight 1. Those things were sick. I wish that those would come back. But anyways, this shoe is just part of many that had released. They're back now in 2024. So yeah, that's interesting. The shoe itself actually retroed about 5 years ago in a white and blue colorway. They kind of were like a Mavericks looking colorway. It was kind of interesting. And that was part of some sort of weird championship pack. Like that was when the Kobe 1 Protro released. There was like the one with the number on the back. So the KD4 was retroed before, and now they are back again. This shoe was super popular back in the day. Not only was it a signature shoe, but it was $95. So that was like the main point of emphasis when people like loved this shoe. Like they thought that they got the greatest deal ever. The performance, in my opinion, was lackluster, and they still feel very similar to the original minus one thing, which we'll talk about soon. But yeah, if you were a fan of this back in the day, they're back again. And from what I've heard, there's going to be all the hot colorways coming back. So like the ones that you really love that you could not get then, I don't know if you'll be able to get them this time around, but at least you'll get another chance at it. Now, instead of being $95, these do retail for $140, which is kind of crazy. If you were interested in these and you live in our area, which is the Sacramento area, Phenom will actually have them. They're located in the Doco shopping center right across the street from Macy's. They're actually raffling these things right now, although by the time that you see this, I'm pretty sure that the shoe would already have like released.
Yeah.
Kind of late. This week was packed with releases. It was insane. We were trying our best to keep everything as current as possible, but I don't think it's working. But I will say that sometimes people don't pick up their raffle items, so you might want to just call around. Maybe you'll get lucky. Now, as far as the tech is concerned on the shoe, the outsole looks super sketchy, but this is one of the things that I do remember the original being very good at. So despite the traction pattern, you know, kind of like Herringbone, it's a bunch of Thunderbolts and stuff for the team that he was on at the time, and the rubber being super smooth, it's some tacky ass rubber. Like this stuff just stuck to everything. The downside is that dust stuck to it too, so it was like a dust magnet. But as long as you kept it clean, you were sticking to the floor like nobody's business. It's also a fairly thick outsole, so I'm not saying to take this particular colorway outside, but if you did want to take the shoe outside, they will last you quite a while. So it was one of those shoes that's just super durable, really affordably priced, especially at the time. And it was a signature on top of that. So again, the hype behind this model for basketball players was definitely warranted. Not like this current hype, like this current modern era of hype of like resell and sit and sell, or I don't know what the everything is, but whatever that is, throw that in the garbage. It's irrelevant. Also, this particular outsole does glow in the dark. It's not quite as strong as the original, but it still glows, so there's that. There's also a shank plate, which you can kind of see poking through the midsole and the outsole. It's got the Galaxy graphic on it. This was, again, like a through line throughout the entire series of that All-Star Weekend pack. So the signature shoes that were part of it all were very much part of the same theme. The midsole itself is a lightweight Phylon, but it's super dense, and it still is. This was one of the things that were like, I was like, yo, is there really cushion in there? I cut my original pair up.
Squidward.
And that's how I found out that the Zoom was in there. So like there's that lightweight Phylon. In the forefoot, there's a Zoom Air unit. And in case you were wondering, it was this style of unit, and it's the same exact thickness and all that stuff. So it wasn't a super thick unit or anything like that, but it was just kind of a standard unit at the time. And again, I couldn't really feel it even after like breaking them in. I'd played them for like a few weeks and stuff like that. And I was like, dude, where the is the cushion? So I remember taking out the insole and taking a knife trying to, you know, cut away at the strobel. And then I heard a tss, and I was like, ah, there was zoom in there. So yeah, there's cushion in the front. You still can't really feel it. That's the thing, is it's kind of a firm ride and stuff. So if you like court feel, that's great. If you don't, you might want to, you know, skip this one. This is the insole, by the way. I can't remember if this was the original insole, but I want to say yes. This is, you know, just a cheap basic foam. It is glued though, so make sure that if you were trying to swap this out for something else, you do it before you start wearing it. I say this all the time, but I think it really like is warranted as far as like emphasis goes. This glue right here, when your foot heats it up and the moisture and all of that stuff surrounds it, that glue starts to activate and it bonds to the bottom layer, like the strobel area. And then when you try to pull this out, like it's damn near impossible. It's like ripping duct tape off of a hairy leg. No, Kelly Clarkson! You just don't want to do it. You're gonna leave all kinds of chunks everywhere. It's gonna be if you end up running into that issue, you can use a hair dryer. It will heat the glue back up. It might not come out super clean, but it'll come out eventually. But anyways, if you're trying to swap this out for anything else, just do it before you start wearing the shoe. Trust me, it'll save you a lot of headache. Now, the materials are probably the most interesting part about the shoe because this is my most hated era of Nike basketball, the plastic uppers. However, there's always a plus and a minus to everything. The plus side for something like this is ultra durable. There are some points of ventilation, which is super needed with a shoe like this, a shoe that's completely plastic and not breathable whatsoever. So you can see the ventilation points. It's not ultra breathable. It's just barely enough to make it so that you don't get swamp foot in there. Now I'm gonna get this part out of the way because everybody's probably curious about it, the fit. The fit is the part about the shoe that I disliked the most in the original. Some people swear by it and they loved it. I was not one of those people. The original had this weird banana shape where it just pushed my foot over this way. The upper never broke in because obviously it's plastic, it's not going to. These fit a lot better. So I will give them some kudos right there where it does not feel like the same last. So the last that they use on these feels a lot more, I would say neutral, but very lightly because there's still a slight curve to it, just not enough to be like, what the hell, you know what I mean? So I think more people will like these as far as fit goes now than they did the originals. They do fit true to size, by the way, so anybody curious about their sizing, go true to size, you should be good to go. If you're a wide footer, normally I say try them on in store if possible. This might be one of those releases that's not possible, so maybe wait for the next one. Now, something that I really liked about this shoe that they carried over from the last model, the KD3, was their adaptive fit system. So if you guys remember the KD3s, they had a adaptive fit lacing strap right here on the medial midfoot. These guys take that concept and they just kind of like really do it up with this adaptive fit strap. So this thing right here is really cool. Not only is it part of the lacing structure, which you can see right here, but the buckles that it's tied down to, those two areas are tied into the strobel. So if you lift up the insole, you can see the stitching and where they're adhered to, so that when you did actually swipe this thing around your foot, it really did lock it in. Like most straps are kind of useless. This is not one of those straps. So this one is an actual functioning strap. It was a great idea. It's a great design, and it was one of the highlights of the sneaker. The tongue patches on all of the Galaxy releases were really cool. They were all unique to the player. So this one right here, I don't remember what it is. It looks like a unicorn or something like that.
Like a Pegasus?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it considered a Pegasus?
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
Do we happen to have a question of the day?
Yeah, I'm keeping you guys on your toes, especially after yesterday's. It was so heavy.
Oh, yes.
Today's is, what is better, the smell of fresh cut grass or the smell of fresh baked bread?
That's not what I thought you were gonna say. And no, I wasn't thinking sneakers. I was thinking fresh cut lumber. I would say that fresh cut lumber trumps all. Like you walk
so
into
you love Home Depot?
Yes. You walk into Home Depot, man, in that wood section, boy, that you'd be like, ooh, man, smell like a man in here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love that smell. I think that it's something special. You walk by like a construction site, you smell not metal, but just fresh cut wood. Yeah.
Okay, but grass versus bread.
What kind of grass we talking about?
The kind in your front yard.
That sucks. I'll pick bread then. If you would have picked the right kind of grass, I think that everybody would lean towards that. And if you're from Sacramento, you already know, boy, you smell that kind of grass everywhere. But sound off below and let us know. We greatly appreciate you guys coming here and hanging out with us. We will catch you guys on the next one. Happy Valentine's Day.
It's late.
I know. But in case you can't tell, you know what I mean? It's the day of love and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys are having a good one and it's not lonely out there. And we will see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace. Also, I forgot, that strap is reflective and so are the little speckle dot things on the laces right here. So yeah, also the Galaxy print on this looks a little lazy compared to the original. The original looked really cool. Like they look like glowing stars. And now they don't. They're just like little paint splotches. Good job, Nike. Good job.